Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, or if you're just stumbling across today's video, my name is Emma. So today's video was highly requested when I posted a photo of me beside some of my favorite tanning products, Vita Liberata, and I posted this about a week ago when I was in Greece, and a lot of you guys asked me so many questions about like what self tanners I use and how I apply it and what my routine is and all of that kind of stuff. So I decided to put a little questionnaire on my Instagram stories and just to ask you guys everything that you had to ask, and I would make a whole YouTube video about it just to kind of have it all in one place. So I got a bunch of questions from you guys and I thought I would answer them here, as well as just kind of go through every product I use to self tan. This isn't like actually tanning outside. Obviously I do that. I go on vacation, I go on trips, and I get a little bit of a base tan, or I add some tan on top of my tan, but this whole video is pretty much just self tanning, so sunless tanning. So if you're interested in all of that, then keep on watching. Okay, so the first brand that I'm going to be talking about is pretty much the brand that kind of sparked this conversation on my Instagram, and that is Vita Liberata, and I've been using Vita Liberata for years. I actually discovered them when I was in LA, and they actually reached out and offered me a spray tan, and back then I wasn't really like familiar with the whole self-tanning, spray tanning situation. I know it can be sometimes like a little bit of a scary thought to get a spray tan because you don't know what you're going to look like after. You don't want to be too orange, you don't want to be streaky, all that kind of stuff. You really want to trust the company that you're putting on your body. So when they reached out, I was like, you know what, I'm going to give it a go. And since then, I've been using their products all the time, as well as I get their spray tans when I'm down in LA. We have a girl named Clara, and she's the best, and she always does her spray tans and makes us look glowy. So yeah, I'm very familiar with the Vita Liberata brand, and I've been getting their spray tans and self-tanning with them for a really long time. So the first product I use from Vita Liberata is the 2 to 3 week tan mousse. It's 2 to 3 weeks. I would say probably applying it every 2 weeks. I don't really go the length of 2 to 3 weeks because I do try to give myself a fresh spray tan or a fresh self-tan before I go on every trip. And if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know I travel quite a bit, so I do exfoliate it off quite often to give myself like a fresh tan before trips. But if you don't travel a lot and you're just kind of wanting to leave your tan as long as possible, you can definitely go up to 2 to 3 weeks. So I have it in the shade dark because, like I said on my Instagram, I love the darkest, deepest tan possible. So I definitely use the dark color. So what's really good about this guy is that it actually rubs off a little bit of a green tint to make sure that your tan doesn't come out super orange and fake looking. So that's really cool about Vita Liberata, and that's unique to this because the other self tanner I'm going to talk about is a little bit more on the orange side, which is okay if that's like your vibe and that's what you want to go for. But if you do not want that orange tint, I would definitely go for Vita Liberata because they do a really great job of making sure that when you apply it, it is like a very like green tint, and you'll notice that right when you start applying it. So I do apply the self tanner with their hand mitt. This is just a self-tanning mitt, the basic self-tanning mitt. I have so many of these in my bathroom, so I just wanted to show you guys one. I'm sure you know what a tanning mitt looks like, but I do apply it with a tanning mitt. I just find it's the easiest for me. Some people use plastic gloves, some people use their bare hands, but for me, I've always preferred the mitt. So yeah, this is the one I use most of the time. So yeah, that is the tanning mousse I use from Vita Liberata. It's great, it always does the job, and I really, really trust this brand, so I love it. So the next Vita Liberata product I also talked about on my Instagram recently is the body blur. I discovered the body blur so long ago, and I'm so thankful that I did. I think actually Clara, our tanning girl down in LA, told us about it first, and she kind of like told us about the whole concept of how it's like a foundation for your body and it's kind of like a makeup. So pretty much what it is, like I said, it kind of acts like a foundation for your body or like a makeup product for your body. So you can mix it in with your foundation to put on your face, as well as I apply it with the mitt, the same thing as the tanning mousse, all over my body. So I'll apply it like around my chest, I'll apply it on my arms, my legs for just that like extra glow already on top of the tanning mousse. So it is pretty much like an extra glow. I wouldn't just apply just this because it is a makeup. It rubs off right away when you wash it, it'll come out right off. So I would apply this on top of the tanning mousse for like a fun night out or like an event. What sold me on it is that I think she told me that like all the celebrities use it on red carpets, and I think the Victoria's Secret models use it on the runway too. So it's definitely a great product. I'm obsessed with it. Also, by the way, I'll have everything linked down below for you guys if you guys want to try or shop these products. I think I have some discount codes for these brands, so hopefully you guys can save some money as well. But I'll have everything linked down below so you guys can shop as you watch. Okay, and then the last and final product from Vita Liberata I want to talk to you guys about is the self-tanning gradual lotion. And this is probably my least favorite product. Not that I don't like it, I do really love it, but it's the one product that I probably use the least amount, just because I love a super dark, rich tan all the time when I go on vacation and stuff, that this is a very natural look. It's more of like a gradual tan, and you can just kind of apply it like as a lotion. It is infused with aloe and shea butter, I believe, so it's super hydrating, super moisturizing. It's more of like the natural route, I would say, but it does give you a nice glow. But it's just not like super harsh dark tan, which is what I like. So that's why I use it the least amount, but I do use it and it's really pretty glow. Okay, and then the next brand I use to self-tan is Bali Body. And you guys have probably heard of me talk about Bali Body if you're an OG and you followed me for years or for a really long time. I used to love Bali Body so much. So yeah, I've been using their oils for so long on like all my vacations. I would always bring my little watermelon Bali Body or like the original or the cocoa. I had like all of them. I still do have all of them. They're really great. But they actually recently came out with a bronzing lotion, and since I mentioned this video isn't about sun tanning, it's about sunless tanning, I thought I'd mention this product because it is really great. So it is the Bali Body bronzing lotion, and it's kind of like the gradual tanning lotion from Vita Liberata. So it's more of like a natural tan, a natural glow, and it just kind of applies it as a moisturizer. I never use the mitt with this just because it is like a moisturizer, so I just quickly wash my hands right after, but it is a really great product and it leaves you really glowy. So for nights out, I do like to apply this guy on my legs and my arms and like my chest, just for like an extra glow. And then I also apply the Bali Body shimmering oil, which I don't have on me, I'm not sure where it went, but it's pretty much an oil that you put on top of it and it leaves you like extra glowy. So if you do like flash photos, you like totally shine. So I really like this product, and I thought I'd mention it in today's video. Okay, and then the last brand I wanted to talk to you guys about is Loving Tan. And a lot of you guys ask me questions about Loving Tan specifically because you're wanting to try it out but you're not sure, but I do love Loving Tan. So I use Vita Liberata and Loving Tan kind of back and forth. They're my two top favorite tanning mousses. That's why I'm including them in today's video. Obviously you can see they're like clear caps and they're like totally disgusting because I literally use them all the time, but I'm obsessed with Loving Tan, and there's actually two different mousses that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. So the first one is the Deluxe Bronzing Mousse, and this one is 6 to 8 hours, which is just kind of like your standard tanning mousse, and then the next one is the 2 Hour Express. And you guys, this guy saves lives, you guys. If you have like a last minute event that just kind of all of a sudden comes up and you don't have a tan on, this guy is so handy. I can't explain how many times I've like had a last minute event or a last minute photo shoot or something and I needed a tan. I would run to the 2 Hour tanning mousse and it does the job. It's so quick and it's so good, and I honestly feel like it gives almost the exact same tan as the 6 to 8 hour. It's that good of a product. So if you're like a lazy person, or if you're always late, or if like you're a last minute person, I would definitely get the 2 Hour Express because first of all, it just saves lives, and second of all, you don't need to sit in like your filth of like your spray tan for too long. You literally just have to wait 2 hours. So honestly, just overall, this is like the iconic 2 Hour Express and it's so worth the money. I'm obsessed with it. So I get both of these guys in dark. Like I said, I love the darkest tan possible. I think there is one even darker than this, but I've tried Loving Tan a bunch of times, a bunch of different products, and I always go back to the dark. So this is the one that I definitely like. So if you're similar skin tone as me and you're looking for the right shade, I would definitely do dark because so good. So for the Loving Tan tanning mousses, I also use the glove. Like I said, I apply all of my tanning mousses with the glove because I just find it works best for me. But whatever you guys are comfortable with, obviously do that. But in my experience, I just really like the tanning mitt. Okay, and then the last products I wanted to talk to you guys about is a crucial part about self-tanning and spray tanning, and that is exfoliating. So exfoliating is so important because it will help avoid all the cracks, it will help avoid the patching, it'll help avoid any skin peeling or anything like that. Things you don't want about a spray tan or about a self-tan, a good one anyways. You don't want your skin to peel. And that will all be avoided if you use an exfoliator. So I have two forms of exfoliators that I like to use. The first one is an exfoliating mitt, and this one's actually by Loving Tan, so you can get it on their website. And then the other product is a body scrub. So this is actually by Way. It's the scalp and body scrub. As you can see, I'm obsessed with it. So these are two just different types of methods to exfoliate. I think I prefer Way's body scrub just because it smells so good and I'm addicted to everything that Way makes. And I think it's a little bit more gentle on the skin. The exfoliating mitt is also really great great because it really gets the job done. A little bit more harsh on the skin, not in a bad way, but it's just like if you made a mistake on your tan and there's some streaks or lines or a mistake that you made, you know, which happens when you're self-tanning, this really gets in there and it really gets the job done. So those are all of the tanning products that I have used. Again, I've tested out so many tanning products, and I always come back to these ones just because they work best with me. You guys could have different experiences, and obviously if you have a different experience with tanning or self-tanning, definitely comment down below so everyone can see it. And if you have any more tips, or if you have any tricks, or if you have any specific tanning mousses that you really swear by, or brands, definitely comment down below because I'm always looking for new tanning products. Obviously it helps everyone out because we're all looking for that perfect tan. So like I said at the beginning of the video, I asked on my Instagram to ask you guys to ask me some questions on my Instagram stories about everything a self-tanner, everything sunless tanning, everything spray tanning, that whole subject. So I picked a few of the questions and I thought I'd answer them. If there's anything I didn't cover in what I just covered here, I'll answer some kind of tips and tricks on how I tan, and kind of like my favorite ways of doing it. So the first question is, what's your pre-tan routine? And like I said, I exfoliate. Like I mentioned before, exfoliating is super important when you're self-tanning. I also really like moisturizing like a couple days prior. Do not moisturize before you put your tan on, like right before, like right after you get out of the shower, after you're freshly washed. Do not moisturize before you put your tan on because it won't stick and it won't absorb into your skin. So what I mean by moisturizing, I mean moisturize like a few days prior. When you know you're gonna like self-tan on Friday, like start moisturizing like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Just like moisturize your skin so it's ready to absorb all of that self-tanner on Friday. So yeah, I like to moisturize days prior. I also really like to exfoliate because exfoliating, again, like I said, makes it go on a lot more smooth, and it's just like the key to a perfect self-tan. So the next question is, how much of your tan is natural at home versus on vacay? So I naturally have like French olive skin and I feel like I tan quite easily. So most of the time, like I said, for work, I'm traveling a lot and most of the time it's to sunny places. So I always kind of keep a little bit of a base tan. But like I said, I love a dark, rich tan. So I'm always self-tanning on top of my natural tans. So I would say like a little bit is always like a natural tan, but a lot of it is fake tan because it's not great to go in the sun and we have to be careful of not going in the sun too much. So I do like to self-tan to kind of avoid that whole situation and just be careful. So someone says, which exfoliator do you use to rub off your old tan? And I did already mention that earlier. I did show you guys my 2 methods that I use, but I will have the 2 exfoliator methods linked down below for you guys if you want that. Okay, and then someone asks, spray tan versus self-tan. What do you prefer? And this is such a hard question, but I would have to say self-tan because getting a spray tan every week is just unrealistic. I mean, for me anyways, because I just am working a lot, I'm traveling a lot, I'm all over the place, and scheduling a spray tan is a lot harder than you think. But I would probably say self-tanning is my favorite because it's just more realistic. You can go by your own schedule, you can tan yourself, you can buy as much as you need, you can use anyone you want. It's just a lot more, you know, just a lot more independent rather than self-tanning or getting a spray tan, because that is a whole ordeal and that's a whole day. If you know, you know. So the next question is how to not make yourself look streaky when you're tanning. And that is a great question. And the answer to that, I would say in my experience, which I definitely learned the hard way, is circular motions. So when you're tanning, definitely tan in circular motions rather than like up and down or side to side or just like streaks. Definitely do everything in little circular motions. It takes a little bit more time, but it is a way better result. And I promise you, you will see way less amount of streaks. So the next question is how to make your tan stay even, especially as it washes over time. So my advice for that is to moisturize, moisturize, moisturize. So once you've applied the tanning mousse and you waited the full 6 to 8 hours or the 2 hours if you're using the Deluxe Express, and you showered it off, moisturize, moisturize, moisturize every single day so your skin really absorbs the tan and it really secures the tan in your skin. And if you're moisturizing, it's just gonna stay on your skin better and more even and just not wash off as fast as it would be if it was dry. It would like start cracking and start peeling off. So definitely moisturize as much as you can after you've washed your tan off. Okay, the next question is, do you apply it to your face? So that is a good question. It depends on how my skin is doing that week or that day or whatever the situation may be. I have acne prone skin, and obviously if you apply a self tanner on top of it, it can't be that great for your skin no matter what people say. So I find that applying it to my face, it just depends on how my skin's doing. So if I have a few pimples that week, I won't want to add to the mess, so I probably will just not and use a little bit of a darker foundation to match my body. But if my skin is super clear and I'm feeling great, then I probably will apply it to my face. just because I'll just feel better about it and I won't feel like I'm adding more pimples to my face than are already on my face. But you guys, that is where the body blur comes in handy. This stuff, like I said, you can mix it in with your foundation, make your foundation even darker than it is, and kind of make it so it's like a tan on your face. So this is where the body blur comes in handy. I hardly use a self tanner on my face ever since I discovered the body blur, just because it's like you're gonna put makeup on anyways. Might as well not make yourself break out and like let it soak in your skin for like 6 to 8 hours. Just apply it with your makeup and remove it and be able to exfoliate and like cleanse your face the normal way. So the next question is, does the body blur transfer on your clothing? And I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. If you're wearing white, it might transfer a little bit in the inside of your clothing. Obviously it doesn't transfer like a crazy amount, but I'm not gonna lie to you, sit here and lie to you and say like it doesn't transfer at all. Since it is like a foundation, like a makeup product for your body, it's obvious that if you're gonna sweat or if you're gonna be, you know, running around doing exercise, doing all these things with your body blur on, or if you're at the club or whatever, it's going to transfer a little bit on if you're wearing white. I would say with other colors you won't notice it as much, or in black you won't even notice it at all, but if you're wearing a white top, I would definitely just be cautious because it probably will transfer a little bit. So the next question is, how do you make your hands and feet look natural? So what I suggest is to really get deep in there. I noticed from when Claire does my spray tans, I noticed when she asks me to raise my hands to spray tan in between my arms, she makes me make this like claw kind of motion with my fingers, and so I took that knowledge to my self tanning, and ever since then my hands have been way more natural. So make like a claw with your hands and then like get in there in like the claw. I don't know, I honestly took that from her. She never told me to do that, but I just kind of like took that knowledge that she made me do, and it worked for me. So maybe take that with you and see if it helps. So the next question is, what are some tips to avoid buildup on ankles, knees, elbows, and wrists? What my advice would be is to apply moisturizer on the tips of your elbows, between your fingers, on your knees, on your ankles prior to self-tanning. So like I said, do not moisturize your entire body before self-tanning, but if you moisturize your elbows, your wrists, and like your creases in your bodies, like the little dry creases in your body, the self-tanner won't stick as much to those areas. So when you shower it off, these areas won't be like super orange and like gross because they had a little bit of moisturizer that kind of reduces the soaking of the tanning mousse. Does that make sense? I don't know if I just made sense. So the next question is, please tell me how you don't get self-tanner over your sheets / clothes. I use Vita Liberata too. So this is kind of something you can't really avoid, but when I self-tan before I go to bed and I kind of want to soak it through the night, I always wear like pajamas that like cover every inch of my body. So I'll usually wear like pants, and I'll wear like a collared pajama shirt or something, as much clothing as possible so it doesn't transfer onto your sheets, because it's such a to have to clean your sheets after that, and I know that it's the worst. So yeah, my biggest advice is just wear a lot of clothes to go to sleep in to let it really soak. The next question is, any tips to avoid being sticky while waiting for your tan to develop? And not really, to be honest with you. It's just the way it goes. I usually just throw on a robe and just kind of distract myself, and by like 10 minutes past, you're not sticky really anymore, I would say. But for like the sticky part, just kind of sit awkwardly. It's honestly so unavoidable, and I feel like every girl has to deal with this, so sorry, I have no advice for you. You're just gonna be sticky for a little bit. And the last question is, what is your advice for someone with really pale skin? What would you use? So if you're really fair skinned and you haven't used a self tanner before, I would start with probably like the lightest color possible, which is usually like light to medium. Do not start with like the super dark tan that I use, because I love the darkish tan, but I'm also, like I said, pretty olive skin tone. But if you're super pale or super fair, I would definitely start with like the lowest grade and kind of work your way up and kind of see how you like it, feel it out. You could also start with the gradual lotion, which would probably be better advice, because like I said, the gradual lotion is more of like a glow. It's not so much a tan. So maybe start with that and see how you like it, and then kind of, like I said, work your way up to the darkest tan possible. So yeah, I guess that concludes my self-tanning, sunless tanning video, Q&A plus explanation. I honestly don't really know how to call this video. I don't know what the title's gonna be yet, but thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys took something away from this video and got some helpful tips. That was my goal. And like I said earlier, I'll have everything linked down below for you guys. If you guys want to try out the products, always DM me if you have any questions, or comment down below. We can chat. If you have any more questions, hopefully I covered everything. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!